Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Trevor Mutlala. I have taken the opportunity today to present to you my philosophy that I call Frakush Nakush. Frakush Nakush means from God to God. But we can simplify Frakush Nakush and say that it means from me to myself, or it means from myself to I. Either way, Frakushna Kush is all about the transition or the transformation of a being from one state to another. And so, what are we talking about here? Let's look at the environment that we live in. As I talk about God, to me, God is everything. So I'll either refer to God as I present or refer to everything. So everything was once in a state where it is dark, cold, and dense, and it transformed itself through to a state where it is love, light, bright, and beautiful, and free. So, which you can also say that God was once dark, dense, and cold, to a point where God is love, light, and free. So, what we want to concentrate on is the process that transforms God into a better state, that which we lean towards, that which we call home, that which we really relate to, because we don't want to relate to the darker side, the evil side, as we have mostly referred to in this world. But in the view of this philosophy, this is one person opposite himself, the good one and the evil twin. You know what they say. So, how is this entire process happening? This is what we are here to look at. How is this transformation going to happen? There are three stages of time that God goes through, that everything goes through. Because even if you can imagine the fish in the waters, people in the streets, everybody is charged with the same potential to go through the processes and the principles that God has gone through to provide us with the environment that we live in. So, the three stages of time are the past, the present, pardon me, it is the past, the future, and the present. Now, God goes deep within himself to find a potential within himself. The potential of God is that which today we know as reality, we know as life, because it has been unleashed. That's the grace that we have. We live in the benefits of someone who has already worked. And we feel like sometimes we should continue to benefit through and through, but we are also supposed to work our own journey. So God activates the first principle of nature, which is the principle of potential, goes deep within himself to unleash this potential. And he starts to work on this potential. As God starts to work on this potential, as work now is the second principle of nature. You have to work so that you can be able to transform. Everything in the universe works, because if it did not work, it would mean that the state where God is dark, cold, and dense must remain supreme, must be the only state there is. So through work, through the second principle, now God is able to discover himself. Now God discovers the beauty that he is, the kind of freedom that God wants to be. Everything that God has become, he discovers through work. And therefore, uh, the principle of discovery is the third principle of nature. So, after discovering what God is, the beauty that He is, I want you to even imagine, because we are part of everything, when you go deep within yourself to discover what you really are. This is when, for some people, you start to detach so that you can be able to focus on who you really are. And this beauty that you have found within yourself is the beauty that you want to bring forward to life. Uh, for many people, it happens, but for me, it was so difficult that because of the fourth principle that we call the principle of support, you have to support what you have found. The beauty that you have found within yourself, the beauty that you have discovered, you have to support it. So it was so difficult. How do I support myself? Because now I cannot just call someone else to support something that they don't even know, something that they don't understand, because I'm the one who can see what I want to become, the beauty that I want to manifest in this life. So that's when it becomes difficult for everything, even for God, even for us. So the success in balancing yourself the success in supporting yourself leads to the fifth principle, which is the principle of balance. The principle of balance is that which leads now to the opposite sides, keeping that which they have found in the middle so that it can stay there for good. So now God has been able to balance himself from the state where he was dark, dense, and cold to a state of light, love, and freedom. So what has resulted in the middle, and what is it that this really means? This really means that the sixth principle, the principle of freedom, now God can be free and enjoy the entirety of who he is, because now he worked in the past and worked in the future to create the present. In the present, the past is balanced, the future is balanced to form the present. So this is the environment that we live in. This is the environment that we are provided for by everything, by God. And the philosophy is primarily telling us that there's a process to this. It is not merely a situation where we should be waiting to gain. We already have enjoyed the grace of being in an environment that is entirely balanced because God has worked on this environment. Now, what happens then when God has now balanced the environment and is now free to enjoy the fruits of his work? Now, God multiplies, decides to multiply everything. When the environment is not balanced, everything will work on the environment and not multiply on that environment. Once the environment is balanced, the environment is now conducive to bear offsprings, to now multiply. So now God multiplies in the environment that is now balanced. So that which is now being multiplied is not exempt from the stages of time, from working in their own past, in their own future, in their own to achieve their own present, applying the very principles of potential, work, discovery, support, balance to achieve freedom. So, us in this environment that we were provided for, this balanced environment that we like, are supposed to work on ourselves. I want to just put a final example here that you can imagine we live in South Africa, a country where we complain a lot about unemployment and so forth, corruption and so forth. But this does not mean that we do not have work. because we have a lot of work to do. If everybody can follow the process of the philosophy, go through the stages of time and activate themselves, work on themselves, we can fix ourselves, we can fix our country, we can heal the world that we so much pollute in many ways through our own activities. So this is what I'm here to introduce to you today, and this was my first video. The second video will follow shortly, and this video is accompanied by a PowerPoint presentation. And on the second video, we are going to focus mainly on time. I thank you all for watching, and till we meet again next time.